This book is basically almost about space pirates, except they're not space pirates. So I read The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, and this is one of those books where I'm really mad I didn't read it earlier than I did, because it sat on my TBR for the longest time, and everybody who read it loved it, and yet I just never got to it. I'm really kicking myself. So I listened to this on audio, and the narrator was great. This is one of those books where when they say, it's for fans of Firefly, this would be the number one book I would put there for fans of the TV show Firefly. It has a lot of the same aspects in terms of a ragtag crew that becomes a kind of adopted family to each other going on adventures. However, in this case, it's not like little episodic small things. I mean, there kind of are within the context of the overarching plot, but there is an overarching plot. The crew is going to a particular part of alien space, which has been, before then, basically a war zone and nobody's gone there. However, their version of what I'm going to call the Star Trek Federation of Planets, essentially, is starting to welcome this alien race in. It seems like they're making a deal. So this crew is coming in to essentially punch a hole in space. So it's creating, I'm going to call it like a wormhole kind of thing. Now, whether or not I've totally understood this correctly is up for debate, as I was sort of half following along, but following along enough that I went, sure, this makes sense. This isn't doing hard science. I get what we're doing. I hope. But more than, like, the plot, which I could almost call borderline irrelevant, because this is a book about the characters. The characters and the crew of this ship are fantastic. They will make you feel all the feels. Every single one of them. Literally all of them, even the ship's AI. And I think it's kind of cool that the ship's AI really gets to play a big role in this book. The only other things I can think of where ship's AI plays a big role is, say, the Illuminae Files series by Jay Kristoff and Amy Kaufman, and then also there's a great podcast called Wolf 359 where the ship's AI just makes you feel all the things. And that's what this reminded me of. The characters of the ship's AI is named Lovey, because I think her initial program is named Loveless, and she just ends up getting called Lovey, and she becomes as big a character as all of the other actual, like, living, breathing organisms kind of characters, like, I get non-computer program characters. Oh my god, I don't know how to describe this, okay? Basically, the ship's AI is super important. You will treat her as a her, basically like you would a human being, and I think that says a lot about how that character was written and developed over the course of this book. And really all the characters are like that. Every character is given pretty much equal page time, not only as they interact with the crew themselves, but off on their own little small kind of side adventures. That may not actually be adventures, it could be small things like, okay, the captain is having a love affair with this alien, and this alien, like, her race is, like, basically totally xenophobic, and she is, you know, in a very high position, which is a big deal, and she could lose it if they found out she was, like, screwing a human, and it's like, whoo, big things there, and you will feel all the feels, because it's great. You have, you know, the first in command is, I'm imagining something kind of like a raptor meets a bird kind of thing. She's sort of described, you can find fan art of this character, I'm sure, but she ends up getting into a relationship with another human, and it's amazing. It will make you feel all the feels, and her culture is really interesting. They describe it as being way more liberated than, like, humans. Basically, physical contact is a big part of their culture, and so humans find that really jarring, because it's certain things where humans are like, whoa, now we have, like, propriety blinders and holy shit, and they're just like, what? Like, this is part of our culture, and it's never, like, looked down upon. There's moments for that character to explain that aspect of her culture, and I think that's amazing. There's a handful of, again, other human characters. One is in a relationship with the AI, and it's so good, and there's so many good, as I say, like, mic drop moments on essentially major societal issues, and honestly, that's what science fiction and fantasy are really good at, is essentially taking societal issues or socioeconomic political issues, wrapping them up in something fantastical and, like, otherworldly, and getting the chance to talk about them or ponder them. And that's what this book does so well. And it does it with every single character on the ship, and it's part of what makes it so fun to follow, because you feel so deeply for these characters, and when they start undergoing issues that are still present but maybe slightly different in this future spacey society, you're like, holy shit, yo, I can empathize with this. Like, I feel you on this level. How interesting. And the way that it's written makes it great because you sort of feel like this omniscient stowaway who's following all the characters and yet it's very deeply involved in the action. It's the best way I can describe it, and I think that speaks to Chambers' writing style and just how great this book is. I will also just give brownie points for the amount of times fuck gets said in this book. Like, man, these people swear like sailors, and it just makes me so damn happy. So happy. Honestly, this book is one of those books that has that ability to slip you into its world so easily. I do think it moves a little slowly at first. It took me a little while to get into it, but once I was in it, I was just like so deeply rooted into it, I didn't stop listening. And that doesn't always happen. So like, kudos to this book. I'm really excited to read the other two, and I know the second one is sort of like a sequel companion, follows one of the characters, but I can't really tell you more about it because you have to have read the first one to understand. And yeah, some interesting things. I look forward to reading more about this world from Becky Chambers.
Thanks for watching me ramble today. If you'd like to see more from me, go ahead and click that button with my face on it. It'll take you to my channel where I ramble about a whole lot of different things. Got some thoughts of your own? Go ahead and leave them down in the comments. And make sure that if you want to see more ramblings from me, you click that little subscribe button. That's it for me today, you guys, so until next time, cheers.